Hey, hey, turn this down. Good evening. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. You know me. You know me. I'm going to do all this whole video because a thought just hit me. So, you see the title? Will breaking be featured in the 2028 Olympics? No, of course not. And here's why I think it will not be featured in the 2028 Olympics. Okay. Uh, these are just my opinions. I'm telling you, these are just my opinions. Um, look it up. Look it up. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All right. So I'm going to be stating some opinions on this. And these are my opinions and my opinions only, just by looking and going back and thinking about what I have seen. So this year in the Olympics, it was an exhibition for breaking or breakdancing to be at the Olympics, right? This was the initial year for it. And it's not going to be here next year. It's an exhibition. And why was breaking touted at the Olympics? When you think about dance and all this other stuff and all of these things, why wasn't it touted? Listen, now I don't know the name of this particular organization, but it is like the dance, the official like dance, ballroom dancing um, entity. They have been trying for years, probably decades at this point, to get ballroom dancing placed on the Olympic schedule. And they have been repeatedly turned down simply because the IOC has said that they believe that ballroom dancing is antiquated. And they've been, and I'm telling you, they have been trying their hardest, lobbying, doing all kinds of petitions and everything to get ballroom dancing placed on the Olympic agenda, even just to get it as to be featured. So to see if people are going to want to uh, take to it, if people are going to be like, oh, we really want to see ballroom dancing at the Olympics. And every time that they petition to put this as a sport, they have been turned down. And partly the reason they have been turned down is because the Olympics has said that ballroom dancing is antiquated, or it is not old, is not modern. So somebody had the bright idea to say, well, there's one dance form that requires skill and moves and all these little different things. How about breaking? How about break dancing? Interesting. If you understand the history of the break dancing and the break dancing movie, you know that all of that big swell of movement started up in New York City, way back in the 70s, the b-boys and the b-girls and all this other stuff, the dance, all of that is one of the tenets of hip hop, if you're not familiar with that. But let me just tell you what I think about it. I think that we're not going to see breakdancing ever again. Regardless of what happened with that Australian lady and her PhD and her husband being over a group and she winning the competition of the committee, the agency, the association that her and her, regardless of all of that, breakdancing was never meant to stay on the Olympic schedule. It was never meant to. It was meant to break into it. And it's always interesting to me. Uh, Black American culture is used to break into certain things. And then people don't want to give those Black Americans credit for the culture that they done. They'll just say, oh, well, you all don't have no culture. That's just Gen Z or common American culture. It is not. Breakdancing is not. Now, I've said before, the problem is that you invited too many people to the cookout and they don't bring nothing. They just take plates away. And then they take those plates to somebody else and swear that they're the ones that cook the food. And so now those are the people being told that they're the experts of all of these little different things. But that for me is neither here nor there. I think, and this is the way I think about this whole situation. I think that breakdancing in the Olympics was used as the foot in the door. They really didn't like the dance art, anything, but that was the foot in the door for the dance associations to then come back and petition again. Hey, breaking was there. Look at, regardless of what happened, look at all the public sentiment about dance in the Olympics. And we think that if you want to keep dance in the Olympics and then bring some gravitas, some respectability to it, let's put ballroom dancing in. Y'all see where I'm going with this? You see where I'm going? I hope you see where I'm going this. And if not, this is what I'm going to say. Sometimes Black culture is used to open the door, to bring in all of this groundswell of attention. And as soon as that groundswell of attention comes out, then anything that has to do with that Black American culture is swept away. And then everybody else comes in and they begin to benefit and eat off of it. Now, I know you all are thinking, oh, Pam, you're talking crazy. That doesn't make any sense. Listen, if you've grown up in the United States of America, if you've grown up here, and I'm not talking politics, I'm just talking about, let's talk about television. Look at some of your favorite television channels. Particularly, look at Fox. I remember when Fox became the fourth television channel, besides ABC, NBC, CBS. Those were the three channels. And back in the 90s, NBC, in the 80s and in the 90s, early 90s, NBC ruled the roost. They had all kinds of shows and things going on there because, they had always had great programming. So it was very difficult for other channels to come up. But here was this little channel called Fox. And you ask, what's so important about that little channel like Fox? When Fox started, do you know what shows were popular on Fox? Shows like Martin. Shows like The Brothers. Shows like Living Single. And if you're not aware, the reason why Friends is so popular is because they bit their whole concept and their whole style off of Living Single. NBC wanted a show like Living Single, but they didn't want to, they already had the Cosby Show. They already had this in A Different World. They had those types of shows. They weren't willing to have a whole nother show that centered around young Black women in the 90s going into the 2000s and things like that in the 90s. So you had those shows and you had the groundswell of a lot of Black Americans watching those shows. Martin is still, it's a cult classic. Living Single, it's a cult classic now. And it was a popular show back when it was on TV. But that television show, that television channel, Fox, gained a lot of the people that watched that network. And it had to do with a lot of Black people. And then what happened maybe 3.5 years later, all the shows that drew all the people to them, they started putting in these little other bitty shows that were coming up. They put those shows in, and then before you know it, any show with that highlighted Black American life, good, bad, or indifferent, and let's be clear about that, good, bad, or indifferent, was was no longer on there. Now every now and then they'll showcase something when they want people to come and look and watch, but it went away. And do you think that that model stopped? Absolutely. You know, why do you think channels like the WB, UPN, and I think what is it? The WB and UPN merged together and became the CW. All those channels were off the black of great um, black comedies, some black dramas. Because remember the game and Half and Half. I think all of those came off of UPN. There was a lot of those different shows. So all I'm saying is it's not a far-fetched theory for me to believe that breaking was placed in the Olympics to bring a lot of attention to dance. And now what they're coming out to say is, okay, even though that breaking wasn't the standout that we thought it was going to be, and honestly, I probably wouldn't have thought it would be, simply because it was going to have very high scrutiny from black Americans, particularly those that live up there in New York and who started the art form. There was going to be a whole lot of scrutiny on that. And you notice that people who were original B girls and B boys, you didn't see them represented at the Olympics, not as coaches, not at any of those things. And I don't even, and I will tell the truth, I didn't see the men's version. I did see like little clips of it, but I don't know who represented the United States in the breaking competition back there on the Olympics. But right now, it really doesn't matter because they're not going to bring the Olympics into the 2028. And that's and I think it is by design. It is by slow, and it's about slow and about encroaching. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think those people that want ballroom dancing to be at the Olympics, they're going to petition again. And they're going to say, hey, your modern version of dance didn't hit with the people. Even the blacks weren't even happy about it. But you know what can come in here and make people happy about dance and that art form and sports of ballroom dancing? That art form of thing, ballroom dancing. Let us have our ballroom dancing, and you're going to see a difference. So you're not going to see breaking in 2028. And I don't think that you're going to see ballroom dancing in 2028. Watch 2032. Now it's August, what is it? Yeah, it's Thursday, August 15th at 12:10 Central Time. Y'all come back to this video. There will be an announcement that they are going to have exhibition ballroom dancing in the Olympics in 2022, the Summer Olympics in 2032, excuse me. Watch what I say. And what was the art form that was used to get them in there? Breaking. An art form, a dance, a sport that was started in the Bronx by those black and Hispanic young B-boys and B-girls. So that's my thoughts. That is my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. That's what I believe that's going to happen. Y'all let me know if I'm riding a horse side saddle with no saddle. Or am I completely off my rocker? I don't know, y'all. It just hit me, and it just seems that way because now everybody is doing all this talking and everything like that. And I think the ballroom people are in the back talking about ballroom dancing is coming 2032, 2032. We'll see. We'll see. That's 8 years from now. That's 8 years from now. We'll see. All right, people. We do this every week. Again, I keep telling y'all, it's easier for me to go live than it is for me to sit here and try to record and do thumbnails. I'll do the thumbnails later on today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Tell me what you think. Write it down in the comments. Tell me what you think. Watch the entirety of this video and tell me what you think. Am I barking up a wrong tree? Is my analogies about what's going on, does that seem a little far-fetched? Let me know. Do you think ballroom dancing is coming to the Olympics, or am I off the thing? Because again, they spent the better part of 2 decades trying to get dance, and particularly ballroom dancing, on the Olympic roster. They have been unsuccessful because the Olympics have said that they were antiquated and they needed something modern. You think breaking opened the door for them? Y'all let me know down in the comments. Again, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos, y'all. And as always, people, bye-bye.